Oh, I know this. Jiggle, jiggle.
A jiggle jiggle.
A jiggle, jiggle.
Jiggle, jiggle.
He's a jiggle jiggle.
Like to see you wiggle, wiggle, for sure. Makes me want to dribble, dribble, you know.
Welcome back, you degenerates, to the #1 fantasy football podcast in the world. Welcome back to our big opening season, episode 1 of this year's podcast. How you guys doing? How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Billy's
you?
back,
I'm fatter than ever.
looking great.
Yep. Joe Green's back there behind the camera.
Joe
Looking like-
Green, what's up?
Good.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm-
It's been a
I'm-
long off season.
Yeah.
Definitely has.
Have you been out of the house? Doesn't look like it. You look quite pale.
Pretty white.
Yeah, that's
Trying
right.
to avoid, monkeypox.
Oh, monkeypox.
Yeah, me too. I don't want
alright.
that shit.
No,
Heard it's worse than herpes.
Jesus. Right into the sex jokes.
You know it. That's why they name us the Degenerates.
If you haven't known, Joe Green hasn't left the house. Billy is now married and fat, and I got skinny.
Alright, let's not use words that are over exaggerating now.
What, fat?
No, skinny. Like,
Oh, yeah.
it's
fair.
Not as large, maybe, is the correct
Since
term.
he is not, said he's been claiming losing all this weight, he's not worn anything but black. Large shirts.
Tell me, you
Extra
guys want
large
to do the
shirts.
same? I gotta go a little extra.
Yeah, you gotta look, pretend like you're not fat anymore. I get it.
Gotta act it.
Yeah.
Well, welcome back, everybody. This is gonna be a big year for us. We're gonna start off this year with the NFC East, talking about the Giants, the Cowboys, the Commanders,
Demanders.
Can't get that wrong.
the Commanders,
Demanders.
and the other team, the Eagles.
I like the football team better. They should have stuck with it.
Yeah.
Demanders are really it's gonna make an impact, I think. I like it.
The Commanders?
Demanders.
Commanders?
Demanders.
What's the other name they said? The it was like the Nazi one.
The commies.
The commies. I like that one.
Oh, jeez.
Well, I understand.
Not for good reason, just clicks.
The commies.
I mean, we can see what works better.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, let's kick it off. We're gonna start off going over depth charts, what we think about the adds, the subtracts of each team, go over some stats. The draft happened. We're looking good.
Yeah.
We're gonna kick it off with Giants. Last year went 4-13. Trash. Daniel Jones always hurt, but apparently he might be the next Allen. I don't know. I didn't hear it here.
Didn't hear it here.
Didn't hear it
as
here.
He proceeds to say he might be the next Allen.
Might be the next Allen.
Josh Allen.
I heard we got everyone over there from the Bills, the whole team, the players, the coaches.
Yeah.
The GMs.
You got Matt Breida.
Matt Breida's
really-
a stud.
Really gonna help out him. Really starting to look like Josh Allen. It's really gonna help him.
It is.
Well, here, go over the key losses and additions here.
All right.
Go over who they lost first.
All right. It's not much of a loss. It's actually a loss by addition. Is Evan Ingram? That right? Would we agree?
Yeah,
Definitely.
we'd agree.
Would we all agree?
We'd agree, but when we get down to the Jaguars, I got an interesting take for you.
All right. Kyle Rudolph and Devontae Booker, all losses.
I don't know how much of a key loss Devontae Booker is.
He
He didn't play terribly. I mean,
played pretty good.
He actually was their leading rusher.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not surprising because Saquon can only run to the right and can't run to the left. So
Key additions: Ricky Seals-Jones, Matt Breida, offensive line. I'm not gonna say it. Mark Lewinsky. I didn't.
That's
butcher
actually pretty damn good.
that. I know.
that's not bad.
Evan Neal, Wande Robinson, and we have Thibodeau, but we'll talk about offense here.
Yeah, offense wins championships nowadays.
Yep, especially for fantasy.
Don't forget about Tyrod.
I don't want to
The
mention
future.
it. He won't ever
The
see
future of the Giants franchise.
Tyrod Taylor.
They brought him in because big Bills guy.
Oh, Daniel Jones is always hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Last time he hurt his neck.
Serviceable. That's what it
Well,
is.
you also didn't mention how they got a new head coach.
New coach.
Brian Double. What's his name?
Gabble.
Dabble.
Dabo.
Gabbo.
Dabo?
Yeah.
Dabo.
No, you don't want
Dabo Sweeney.
You don't want Dabo.
No.
Yeah, I mean, they said they're not going to run the system like the Bills were, but because of obvious reasons, Daniel Jones is, in fact, not Josh Allen. So they'll see what they got.
No, they also don't have Stephon Diggs. I think that's another.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Diggs wasn't
I
much
mean, don't
last
they?
year
They
either.
still got Kenny Galladay, right?
Wasn't much.
They still got Kenny Galladay.
Yeah, we don't talk about him.
He's similar. They're
Mike,
similar
I'm
players,
just gonna
right?
skim over. Mike said Stephon Diggs wasn't much.
Last year.
That's crazy talk.
What do you mean?
You're
He was
an
still
idiot.
Great.
Here we go again.
Yeah.
New year, same Mike, just not as hefty. Come on.
Anyway,
All right, talk about something
Yeah,
relevant on the
come on.
Giants here.
the Giants have a very interesting roster. Not only do we have Tony, now we have Robinson. We both under the small group, 5'8" and under. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
interesting of what they're gonna do.
Wandell is pretty much the same player as Tony.
Mhm.
I think they kind of drafted him. We didn't use what round? It was third round they got him, right?
No, it's second.
Second.
Second round.
End of the second. Middle second.
First or the second?
First draft pick of the second.
It's like the fifth.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Just wanted to be right.
Yeah.
That's high draft stock for a guy who does the same thing that the guy who's already on your team who drafted last year did. So it'd be interesting to see what Tony's role will be moving forward. Before he got injured and has to do his minor surgery for OTAs, he was telling. The rumor was that he wasn't coming to OTAs anyway.
He's a rapper.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. His name's the Joker.
Is it any good?
I'm not listening to it.
Okay.
I'm just stating facts. He's
Was-
the Joker
There were also trade rumors with Tony.
Yeah, that.
because of this.
Yeah.
What? That he's a rapper because
No, because he doesn't want
Wandell?
he doesn't want to show up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I'm a rapper though.
Tony's a great talent, but it's like, is his head fully in it? Does he want to be a rapper? Does he want to do this? You never know. Kenny Galladay, we watched that garbage can run up and down the field, never make a catch. He caught like less than 40% of balls last year. Really bad. Darius Slayton's always interesting. Sterling Shepard puts up numbers, but I'm most interested in Ricky Seals-Jones. They finally might have somebody that can actually catch the ball. So, at least for me, the most interesting piece that they added was Ricky Seals-Jones.
Probably for fantasy wise, yes. I'm just interested to see how they flex both Wandell and Kadarius at the same time, because it's gonna happen. I have a feeling that Shepard is gonna miss the beginning part of the season. He is injured right now. He has he's not even playing right now. I don't know how much it's gonna be a fact into the season about his injury. They might even trade him.
What injury does he have?
I think he tore his Achilles
I'm about to double check.
Yeah.
or his ACL. He
Yeah,
tore
you're
something.
right.
It's
He
his
tore
Tore
Achilles.
something towards the end of the year.
He
He
tore his Achilles week 15. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
I mean,
that's huge then.
it is huge.
Yeah.
So
There's
that means
definitely
I
open
think
targets.
Tony's gonna play on the outside, and then Robinson's gonna play inside. Galladay is obviously outside. Darius might not even make the team.
That's a hot take. I think
I'm
that's a hot
serious.
take. I mean, it's a possibility, but without Shepard, they're going to need an extra person there. If Tony doesn't show up to OTAs, doesn't show up to practice half the time, how is he going to really, truly know the offense?
Mm-hmm.
Besides just being very quick and shifty. And he is probably the only person that can get open on this team, so...
Well, Tony didn't show up to OTAs because he had hip surgery.
Yeah, but
Like
he
cleanup in his
didn't
knee,
show up
sorry.
to
No,
OTAs
he-
last year either. And he wasn't going to show up this year.
Well, this year he came. He practiced a little bit, and he's like, "Nah, I'm gonna clean up my knee." That's how that went.
Yeah. He'll be back for training camp. No problem, they said. So we'll see how that goes.
I think the biggest fantasy impact, as of right now, because I don't know who's gonna get cut, is Matt Breida. I'm serious.
So you think they're going to cut Saquon?
No,
I'm
not.
confused.
Why am I not gonna say Barkley's gonna get hurt again? He does it every year.
Because I think he's 2 years removed now from the ACL, right?
He missed 4 or 5 games because he rolled over his own feet last year.
Very
He
true.
missed what he played. He
He
played
missed
13
3
games,
games.
so he missed 4 games.
But not because of his big injury, because he tripped over his own foot.
I mean, yeah, he's got problems. He's clearly not as explosive as he was, before the ACL injury.
He still has great hands. Still can't.
I'm just
run to
saying,
the left,
look at what Booker did last year. Then I think Matt Breida is a better running back
You
than
act
Booker.
like Matt Breida stays healthy.
Yeah, Matt Breida is old.
Matt Breida just Matt Breida has like the same injury history or similar injury history. It's not
He also knows the Bills' offense.
Yeah.
But Dabble said they're not even going to run the Bills' offense.
Yeah.
He says whatever he wants. It doesn't matter. When
Regardless
when
of
you
what,
see him on Sunday, it's gonna look like the Bills.
Listen, regardless of what offense they run, they have to stop turning the ball over. And unless they do that, nothing's gonna change.
Well, Jones at the end of the year was not turning the ball over.
He didn't play it.
He didn't
play.
play. But when he did, he wasn't turning.
But you know who did? Mike Glennon, 10 interceptions. Your boy,
Jake Fromm.
Jake Fromm,
Not
the
even on the
future.
roster.
Once again, not on a roster. 3 interceptions.
210 passing yards, though. That's pretty
They had
impressive.
20 interceptions.
Yeah, but I'm not even.
They lost 4 fumbles.
Glennon and Fromm are not even
They
in
have
the
more
league.
turnovers than touchdowns.
That's not even in the league. They're not in the league no more. They're gone.
I'm just telling you how it is. You need to put the ball in the end zone.
Evan Neal is going to play a huge impact with Mark Glowinski.
Mark
Huge
Glizzy.
impact on the right side. Only missing a left guard. That's it.
It's perfect for Saquon. Runs to the right.
It is. That is the right.
I just feel like it's a good opportunity to buy low on Saquon. I mean,
Yeah.
where is he
I
going?
mean, you're not-
the third
what-
round?
He's not going third
No.
round.
End of second?
Middle of the second.
I'm
We'll
not
get
doing,
into that more when
he's
the
gonna
time
still
actually
go,
comes, but
Right, like
he's
doing-
still going to go.
Doing a mock draft now is kind of pointless. We're
Yeah.
3 months out, but I'm just saying,
I
the injury risk is there, but I mean, there's a lot of potential.
I'd
Good
be
offensive
lying
line.
to you to say if I didn't do like 100 mock drafts past 2 weeks. But besides
I mean,
the
it's
point.
fine to understand value,
Yeah.
but I just think there's a good opportunity to buy low.
Yeah,
on
it's definitely a good opportunity to buy low. It's just, is it a risk you're willing to take? That's what it always comes down to. And I may be interested. You'll have to wait and see as the offseason continues to find out.
Like I said, as of right now, Matt Breida is like, I think they're going to pick up another running back. It's going to be one that gets cut. Is Moss going to get cut?
Oh
Is
my God.
someone
No
else
free ads.
Is someone else going to get cut? Because there is going to be running back that gets cut, and they will pick it up.
Yeah. Somebody's getting cut. I don't think it's either Saquon or Matt Breida. Just
I'm
They're not going to get cut.
I'm trying to
I'm
think
just
of
saying.
a running back you could compare to like Saquon, and who would you rather take? I mean, I guess like David Montgomery,
Antonio Gibson.
Antonio Gibson, yeah, that's a pretty solid one. Like,
I would take Barkley.
I would
We'll
too.
we'll talk about that shortly.
yeah, we'll get to that in a bit, but
You can, for really all 4 of the running backs in here, in this division.
yeah,
Yeah.
You know, they're all
As of
similar.
right now. Yep.
I mean, obviously Miles Sanders, but when we get into it next, it's like his ceiling's not as high, but still.
You think Daniel Jones is going to be somewhat of like a flex play in QB play?
Not
at all?
until you want to give us your little stat with the season, your little schedule stat that you
New
got
York
wrong.
Giants are ranked 23rd in travel yards.
travel yards,
Miles.
miles.
20,614.
He did this math himself.
Yeah, I did the math myself. It would be a lot more
22
yards.
time zones.
22 time zones. It's pretty bad.
I don't think that matters.
no
with
difference.
Daniel.
The
Jones,
only time it's
though.
going to make a difference, and we've seen it in the past, is when they go to play in London.
Or
Because
when
every
we're betting.
team plays shit in London.
Yeah,
You know?
it's always a terrible game. That's for sure.
Yeah. I'm just
And-
happy
and
they put a
it's
terrible
usually
team
when
there this year.
East Coast teams travel to West. They're losing time.
I don't think you're gonna get anyone who's in on Daniel Jones.
No, I'm saying for like your weekly, if you're on a bye, your QB's injured.
I
You
mean,
think he's going to be a serviceable QB on a Sunday when you need a QB?
We were just looking at the schedule. Was it week 7 they play the Jags?
Yeah, they have a favorable. Yeah.
Here we go. Butt and big butt. Week 7 they play the Jags. Is it week 8 they have to bye? Or is it week 9? They play in that time frame. They play the Jags. They have a bye. They play the Lions and they play the Texans. Then I can see
Yeah.
something.
You're gonna
But
have.
not as much with the Lions anymore. I'm really starting to think that the Lions are going to turn it around a little bit.
I love the Lions this
Yeah.
year.
I mean, I'm not going to go out and say I love them. I think they're going to be able to turn it around. But that's a good stretch of games for him to be worthy of a flex start if needed. But you got to show me something.
Yeah.
You can't throw all these interceptions and all these fumbles and not score touchdowns.
He's like one of those guys, like, you have an eye on early in the season on the waiver wire. Like, obviously, no one's going to draft Daniel Jones.
Yeah,
so,
nobody is.
So you just keep an eye on him and hope
But-
he plays well.
By week 6, if you are interested in having a backup QB, you would pick him up before week 7. Because then you have one of the greatest 4 games run there
Of all
of
time.
all time.
I mean, his schedule
pencil it in.
wasn't terribly hard last year. He had 10 passing touchdowns in 11 games and 2 rushing touchdowns. But he also had 7 interceptions and 2 fumbles. So it just negates it. You're not doing anything for me.
You have to see so much. Like, this whole offense.
It's all the offensive line. That's it.
No,
Well,
it's
no,
not.
but like the wide receivers have to bounce back. Like Kenny Galladay, regardless of QB play, was bad.
He dropped 39 balls.
Kadarius Toney showed spurts. Obviously, Shepard was solid, but like as a group, they weren't good.
And is a whole group, it's the offensive line.
Yep.
I'm obviously
That's
all-
Evan
what I
Ingram
think it
was
is.
your best wide receiver last year. And you let him walk out the door. So, what are you showing me?
I think it's just wait and see. Like, I mean,
I'm just
these
saying.
guys are massive risks.
Yeah.
Everyone on this team's a massive
Everyone
risk.
is a big risk.
Just so we know, just so we're all clear on this, he's big on Daniel Jones going upward, right? Evan Ingram led the team in receptions and in touchdowns last year.
And drops.
No, definitely Kenny Galladay. For sure.
He
Kenny
lost
Galladay.
3 games for
Well,
us.
3
just by
simple
drops.
games, but I'm talking about over the course of the season. I don't know. I don't see it. Once again, you have to show me. Because
Yeah.
I like the athletic ability. I just don't know.
I don't want
It's
him
right.
running. I
If
really
that-
don't want
Let's
him
put
running.
it this way:
He should be running.
He should, but I can't.
if you were to put a flyer on anyone here, say you had to draft someone on the Giants, who's the name that you're going?
Outside of Saquon, I'm assuming.
Yeah, because it can't
yeah,
be. It can't be.
Saquon. Obviously, he's gonna.
Yeah,
go
I'm gonna
high.
pick him up if I have like I need a running back. I'm just gonna do it anyway.
I'm taking Kadarius Toney as a wide receiver 4. I'm not doing anything any sooner. As a flex wide receiver 4.
You might as well go for the upside.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't want to touch Kenny Galladay. Sterling Shepard, we talked about. He's not going to be ready for the season, and he has a history of being injured.
That Achilles is a killer. That's a killer.
Ricky Seals, yes, but we're talking about tight ends, and it doesn't take much.
Yeah, that's like a flex.
I would say Galladay still, because I know his draft value's shot.
Highest paid receiver. Well, one of the highest in the league. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
top 5.
The biggest fleece of all time.
I could see the argument for Kenny. Like,
Just because of he does. I mean, Galladay has potential.
We've
I mean,
seen it.
We've seen it
We've
with
seen it.
Stafford.
But now it comes down to the question: is Daniel Jones anywhere
Yep.
near Stafford
but
level?
I will say this: Galladay has actually played with worse quarterbacks than
Yeah.
Daniel Jones.
Yeah, and he's
But-
produced better.
Yes,
But Galladay doesn't.
exactly.
He hasn't thrown the ball to Galladay as well. When
No,
Galladay was
no.
producing, he was getting probably 9, 10 passes
a
his
game.
way.
Yeah.
All right, let's get it off. We're gonna start off with the Eagles next.
We're gonna start it off with the Eagles next.
We already kicked it off.
We're starting with the Eagles now.
No. Next up is the Eagles.
Yeah, they're 9-8.
We yelled at you every
not-
week
They're 9-8.
last year for this, and you're still doing it.
Just look at the dictionary. Look at some transitional words.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll send
The
you a link.
following team that we're gonna go over,
The
fellas.
vastly superior team in the NFC East.
Some will say might win the division. The Eagles, the 9-8 from last year.
Yeah, they looked below average last year, but they still won 9 games.
Yeah.
Made the playoffs.
Well,
Yep.
they turned it around.
I mean,
They started rushing the ball.
they might as well not made the playoffs last year.
Go over the offseason for him.
Yeah, hit us.
The key additions: AJ Brown, obviously,
Huge.
they traded for him, gave up a lot of picks, just a first and a third.
I want that one.
Hey, you gotta break it down for the fans though. The
They-
Eagles trade up to get a receiver, just like last year.
Yeah,
And then what happens? Somebody snipes their receiver.
the Saints.
So they,
Saint Snipe Olave.
Yeah,
and then they just go ahead and just trade whatever they can to get AJ Brown.
They knew if they drafted another wide receiver in the first round and it did not pan out,
Yeah.
everyone was fired.
Yeah, but I think they also knew the drop off from Olave
Oh, yeah.
to the next best guy was not
Yeah.
It wasn't worth that pick.
Yeah.
right.
So they gave up their 18th pick, their third-round pick,
And they paid him.
and they paid him.
Within 10 minutes. they
100
paid
mil.
him. Literally within 10 minutes. They
QB pay of $100 million a couple years ago. Some say $100 million bust, but that's not coming from me.
Some say.
Well, we'll get into it.
Added Zach Pascal.
Yeah.
Pascal.
Not
Yeah.
not worth much.
Well, Pasquale. Well, 1.5.
He's another bigger receiver. Physical.
Yeah, I don't really see a lot of value in Zach Pasquale.
No,
No,
not fantasy
I
wise.
just I
Yeah,
listed him as
it's a
an
worthy
addition.
ad because how bad their receiving core is, but as far as fantasy value, no shot. How do you feel about AJ Brown's future being a nice Philadelphia Eagle? We saw him be productive with the Titans, who are way run heavy. Comes to another run heavy team. What do you think?
I think he fits right in. Obviously, the Eagles are going to do the play action. AJ Brown is known for taking slants to the house. He's a yak player, and at times he goes to the deep pass as well. So I think it's going to play well with them. I think Jalen Hurts is going to, I don't think he's a great deep ball passer, but he's going to hit the slants easily.
Yeah.
And I think it just fits for the whole. He's going to make this whole offense a lot better.
Do you think that he'll, as far as him by himself, not even just like the whole team in general, do you think he's going to outperform what he did last year or years prior, or do you think he's going to fall off a little bit?
He should perform just like he did last year. I don't think he's going to get a big boost. I don't see like they're not going to have that much. There's not going to be like 9 people in the box stopping Henry.
Yeah.
Miles Sanders is just going to get the normal coverage. They're still going to double A.J. Brown. Devontae Smith, maybe a big year. I think Quez Watkins is going to have the biggest year out of this offense.
That's a hot take.
Well, no, like
He's
you know,
on fire,
Devontae
man.
Smith is going to have his boost. A.J. Brown's going to have his boost, but Watkins just the whole time is going to be single coverage,
What about
running
Dallas
straight.
Goedert?
Yeah. Dallas Goedert.
I'm saying boost,
Yeah.
boost in
I
the
mean,
year.
Boost.
What are you expecting out of Quez Watkins? Like, you think he's getting 700 yards receiving compared to what do you have last year? 600? Is that the big boost we're looking at?
I'm telling you,
Boost.
boost.
See, I'm a little bit down on AJ Brown, but I do agree that he makes this team better. It'll open up Devonta Smith more, like you said. And I wrote Dallas Goedert, not Quez Watkins, but that's just me. How do you? I think it boosts Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts' numbers get better. But
You hope so.
Yeah, but you have to consider they threw the ball less than anyone last year, right?
Oh, yeah.
Just because they knew he can't throw a football. That's not going
Can't
to
throw-
change.
yeah.
Like, he's not.
I still think.
I mean,
they're
to
still
a
gonna run the
point,
ball.
He can't throw a football, but the receivers also couldn't catch out of Devonta Smith. Like throwing the ball outside, you couldn't do it. It was useless. Jalen Rager hasn't caught a ball since 2008. So
Yeah, that's fair. I don't see, like, I think most people know Hurts doesn't have, like, the greatest arm, right?
he doesn't need the greatest arm with AJ Brown, which is why
No.
it makes sense to then
I-
bring him in. But they still want to run the ball.
Yeah. Right.
They never ran the ball effective last year, so I don't know why they keep trying to run the ball.
Well, it's like I said, they threw less than anyone last year. They fifth least passing touchdowns, 20, and Minshew threw 4 of them. So Hurts only threw 16. He only threw the ball 20 plus yards, 44 times downfield. It was like average, and then only 12 times 30 plus yards. That was 21st, so below average.
I'm not high on Goddard this year. If you think about it, Devontae Smith, AJ Brown, they should all be playing in the same territory.
Well, let's put it this way: can Jalen Hurts support 2 top 25 wide receivers and a top 10 tight end?
No.
No.
Exactly. That's why I think Quez Watkins can luckily.
This is where I know. Okay.
I think
I'll let you speak. What do you think?
he could just be like what the old Eagle. I can't think of his name.
What Jeremy Maclin?
No,
What Eagle are you
the
thinking?
one that's been all around the world.
Deshaun Jackson?
Deshaun
You're out of
Jackson.
your mind.
What?
And just the deep pass.
No, if anything, Smith would be that guy.
Smith is not going to be the deep.
If anything, Greg Ward, I don't know.
Yeah.
Jalen Rieger's still on the roster somehow.
Stop.
Like,
Stop. He's not
He's
even going to be on the team.
gone, man.
They looked to trade him. Colts wanted like a 7th round pick for him.
I just don't understand how you think Quez Watkins is gonna have a better year than he did last year, but
Hey,
but
this
he
be
can't
a-
support those 3 guys.
Oh, I also think that Hurts is gonna have an upside and at least a throw for 4,000 yards this year.
I don't know.
I don't know what the over is, but I would bet he throws for 4,000 this year.
Wow, that's crazy. I mean, he threw for 3,000 last year, 900 more.
Hardly
Missed
3,000.
games.
He
So
missed, he missed
One-
two. Missed two.
2 games.
that he's at least throwing 200 in each of those games.
Yeah, I mean, he averaged 209 yards per
Yeah,
game.
so that's 400 yards you're missing. So 4,000. We're talking about 400 increase. You just traded for all pro wide receiver. You're telling me he doesn't get you 400 more yards on the whole season?
It could.
Yeah, exactly.
Possibility, I don't think is likely. Listen, it's a possibility. Could be Quez Watkins. There's also a good possibility. Could be Greg Ward. Could be Dak Pascal. As far as the third option, we don't know who's going to emerge. But like we talked about, can Jalen Hurts support 3 fantasy relevant players? I don't know.
If you
AJ Brown will be fantasy relevant. We know
Yes.
Yeah.
that. Dallas Goedert will be relevant for a tight end. We know that.
Yeah.
Devonta Smith, I don't know how high I have him. We didn't finish our rankings yet, but I'm not putting him in my top 25, I don't think. It's like around there.
He definitely, going into this next year, he definitely went down, I think. You obviously, he's his second year. He's going to have a little boost, but he would have been a lot better if he didn't have A.J. Brown.
Well, yeah, I mean, he had 104 targets last year.
Yeah.
Now you're bringing in a guy who commands 100
Yes.
plus targets.
Yeah.
He's obviously
He has
gonna
to go
be
down.
impacted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to go up, but he's going to go down.
He's going to go up, and then he's going to go back down.
I just don't. Okay, so obviously, if you want to own any of them, it's AJ Brown.
Yes.
Yeah, but just at least in my personal opinion, if you want, I want AJ Brown, but I'm not expecting the numbers he put up last year or the year before.
Yeah, well, last year he was hurt, so
Yeah.
it really isn't fair. But the prior 2 years, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the problem with anyone here is their low ceilings.
Do you think
Yeah.
A.J.
And
Brown...
the whole team.
Yeah.
You think A.J. Brown is going to help Sanders?
I don't think it changes.
You don't think it changes?
I mean, well, Jalen Hurts led the team in rushing yards last year. I mean,
Yeah, he had 10 rushing touchdowns. Miles Sanders had 0.
Does he get one this year?
No,
I mean,
I don't think so.
I'm sure there's some positive regression, but like I have the stats here. Look, rushing inside the 10-yard line. Miles Sanders had 10 carries for 4 yards and 0 touchdowns. Look at Kenneth Gainwell, 8 carries, 35 yards, 4 touchdowns. Look at fucking Boston Scott.
Yeah.
16 carries, 20 yards, and he had 7 touchdowns.
They signed Scott back, right?
Yeah.
We are both. He's a Boston Scott guy. I'm a Kenneth Gainwell guy. You're the Miles Sanders guy out of the 3 of us. You've drafted him multiple times.
I'm a Jordan Howard guy.
Yeah, well, we know that,
Yeah,
but
we know that.
come
That's
on
my
now.
boy.
He's gonna
He
be
has
the new
3
Frank Gore.
He has 3 touchdowns.
Jordan Howard's the new Frank Gore, man. He's
I
just gonna
know.
keep being on teams and still
Getting
score a couple touchdowns and ruin everybody else's life.
But the problem I have with Miles Sanders, he can't stay healthy. He's missed 9 games the last 2 seasons. Kenneth Gainwell is actually pretty damn good, and he's a bigger back. And then you have Jalen Hurts, who vultures at least, unless they try to pull a Lamar Jackson, we're like, oh, we're gonna make him throw the ball. But I don't even think the Eagles coach is dumb enough to start doing that.
Yeah. I don't know. I was very high in Gainwell. Lost a lot of love thanks to the Eagles just deciding that their quarterback is the best running back on the team. So I don't know if I touch this backfield. I'd expect Joe Green to draft Miles Sanders again somewhere in the 4th, 5th round and still somehow win a
He's
championship.
gonna probably still go 3rd round.
No, that's
No.
too high.
You think?
Yeah, it's
Like end of the 3rd,
It's too high.
flip on the 4th.
Well,
We're talking about running backs here.
yeah, it is scarce. I mean, there probably is a 3rd rounder, but there's no way I would draft him earlier than the 5th. I think even then it's like
You said that last year.
Believe it or not, I think
You drafted him in 3rd.
it's Dynasty League's
It is
different.
he has an impressive yards average.
Yeah. He didn't run bad. It's just when it gets inside the 10, he's useless.
It's never talent with him. It's the fact
Effort.
that he gets
You think it's
hurt.
effort?
No, he gets hurt. He can't sustain multiple hits a game.
But I'm talking about when it comes down to that touchdown number. It's like
Oh.
is it you think it's just effort that he's just not built like that?
Probably. It's not big enough. I mean, you know,
I don't think
speed
he's
doesn't,
mentally tough enough either.
Speed doesn't help inside the red zone.
At the end of the career, Barkley or Sanders are gonna have a better career coming from Penn State.
I mean, Barkley has a better career
Yeah,
already.
Barkley
so.
will have a better career. It's not.
It's
even
not that close.
It's really not. Let's move on to the Manders,
The Manners,
the Washington Commanders. How far are they traveling?
not that far. Ranked 8th. Why you guys are blowing up my
13,000.
stats.
I don't like the schedule of the travel thing because
Yeah.
it changes so much. All right, obviously the travel doesn't, but I don't think that really impacts much. I don't like looking at the schedule and be like, oh, he has a hard schedule. I can't draft Jonathan Taylor because he has the
This
hardest
is not
schedule
even
in
ranking.
football.
This is not even ranking their
The schedule.
The schedule.
I know,
This
you're-
is just ranking just pure time.
Miles on the body.
But okay, what does that do? Are you not going to draft Jonathan Taylor because he
I
travels
should.
the
You know what I
most?
should have did? I should have ranked put the rankings of the schedule with this.
Yeah, that's
That
what.
would have
That's
been a
why I
little bit
asked
better.
you.
That would have been a little bit better. Because then we could have put both of them together and made a nice little hypothesis.
Yes, but what I'm
hypotheses?
saying
Hypotheses.
is that really
Yeah.
changing your opinion on a player? Because to me,
Strength of actual schedule.
yeah, to me, it's
Strength of
not.
schedule, yes.
No.
If strength
not-
of schedule and time traveled both are there, yes, it does
to
impact.
some point, yes, but not fully because strength of schedule goes off of last year's team.
Right.
Yes, but
So-
you obviously last year's team should.
Just
Like
like-
you're saying, the Bengals got even better than last year.
Yeah, but that's not true for every team.
I know it is,
Just like you
but
can say that.
majority, they should get better.
I mean, like the Titans, they got way worse. They're
Yeah.
not going to
The
win.
Titans,
13
the
games
Titans are
again.
almost on a rebuild.
So like, I just think strength of schedule is just so, like I'm telling you, draft day. I'm not going to be sitting there going, "Fuck, they have the hardest schedule.
Yeah,
I
if
can't
I'm
draft
between-
that."
I'm
two
here
players-
to give the people the stats. They do what they want.
Yeah.
That's
well,
what
we're also here to give advice. Like if I'm between
Yeah, I'm
two
gonna tell you.
players and the clock is ticking, I'm not gonna be like, oh, which guy's got the hardest
Yeah, I'm
schedule.
gonna tell you, don't take Wentz right.
I'm going with the guy who's got a higher upside.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's all.
exactly.
The Manders. How do you guys feel about the name?
Hate it.
Love it.
I don't really care about the name. I thought the logo was just
Yeah.
interesting.
It's blah. It's like
Yeah. Could have done more.
A lot more. Carson Wentz, Mr. Glassman,
mm.
down into the Washington
Yeah, what
area.
They had an interesting offseason.
I think
They did a lot.
they traded like 2 minutes too late, 2 minutes too early.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
That they
the
did.
problem.
Yep. Gave up on Russell Wilson a little too early
Yep.
too, I think.
Well, at least they didn't get Matt Ryan. So it's
Yes, that
It's definitely a positive.
I don't understand the Colts think that's an upgrade from Carson Wentz.
No, I
It's
think
about
it
the same.
is.
I don't.
mean, how
I don't think so
much?
at all.
I think it is over Wentz. Yeah,
I don't think so.
I guess we'll see.
I
I don't
think-
think it's a massive
I think
upgrade.
Matt Ryan under pressure, even though he can't run, I think he's just composed a lot better, and the Colts' offensive line was not what it should have been last year. Anyway, they obviously traded for Carson Wentz. They drafted a wide receiver. I can't say his name.
Jahan Dotson.
Jahan Dotson, first round. I think he's from Penn State. Drafted another running back, Brian Robinson Jr. from
Alabama boy.
Bama.
Yep.
Big boy. We have a tight end, Cole Turner, 5th round.
Then they released Eric Flowers, didn't resign Fitz,
Yeah.
Humphreys, and
Lost.
Brandon Sheriff went to the Jaguars.
Lost all-pro guard.
Yeah.
Let me say that again. Lost all-pro guard.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
And that's key because guess what? Their offensive line was already questionable. Now they just lost all-pro guard. They didn't sign Eric Flowers back. Now, let's see what they do. The biggest question going into this team is what are they going to do at running back? That's what I'm saying.
I wish I knew.
Mess. It's an absolute mess.
Wish I knew.
Gibson, McKissick is back. Went over there to the icy Buffalo and was like, nah, it's too cold for me. Let me head back.
That's exactly what happened. Then
They drafted Brian Robinson, who obviously is going to be the tank. He's going to be an end zone running back. He's like 225.
He's good. Brian Robinson's pretty good.
Yeah, he's pretty decent.
As far as like true talent, I think Antonio Gibson's still the best back, but it's like, how many times are they gonna do this to this guy? You know, like me as a former Antonio Gibson owner, I can't do it anymore. I can't physically watch this debacle week in and week out of you get into the red zone and then, oh, look, there's J.D. McKissick. Oh, look, there's Curtis Samuel. Like, what are you doing? I'm tired of it. I want no more of it. I do like Brian Robinson as a red zone threat, but like
Fantasy-wise,
I don't know how until we see it. It's not worth even like a late round right now. You pick them up, you'll know week 1 when they get into the red. I mean, obviously if they get into the red zone, but when they get in the red zone, who's the guy? Because J.D. McKissick's gonna get the passing work. It's just brutal. It hurts. It breaks my heart.
I don't think Robinson has any fantasy upside. I just think it just hurts Gibson.
Yeah.
Well, there's fantasy upside if Gibson gets hurt.
Yeah.
Because McKissick can't be an every
of course.
down
I
back.
think because
they'll probably make him try to be because they love that guy.
Let's face it. I mean, Gibson, if he gets hurt, Robinson's instant waiver wire pickup.
Yeah.
But I just don't see Gibson. I mean, I see his stats go down, but he fumbled 5 times last year.
Yeah, he did.
That's a lot.
He struggled.
You got to hold on to the ball if you're playing.
Yeah. Coming from a Giants fan, it's saying a lot, you know.
Yeah, well, my running back doesn't fumble.
No, just your quarterback.
Yeah.
Can't even get it to the running back.
They probably think they needed a better goal line back just because Gibson 25 carries, 31 yards. He had 6 touchdowns, but like yards per carries, pretty bad.
Yeah.
Wasn't great.
Not, I mean, and the red zone, obviously. Everywhere else, he was fine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He did half the work, and then they'd hand it to McKissick.
I remember a lot of his touchdown passes were the long runs. It wasn't even at the goal lines.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's just sad.
But, I mean, he had 6 inside the 10, but
So 10's pretty long.
yeah.
9.
9.
I mean, Antonio Gibson did very well in the passing game between the 20s. And then they're like, all right, your time is done. Jay McKissick's going to take the passing work inside the 20. When it gets down to the 10, we'll figure it out. It's a lot of flip-flop, bad coaching. And then you're adding Carson Wentz into the mix, who couldn't beat the Jaguars to get into playoffs. I have a fun fact about that. We'll save that when we talk about the Colts. Where do you guys think you have Terry McLaurin going forward? Do you think he stays about the same? We've seen him be somewhat quarterback proof. He's played with 3, 4 different quarterbacks now?
Yeah.
At least 4.
And he's put up numbers with all of them.
I don't think it matters when it comes down to it because it's not like they picked up a wide receiver where I'm like, all right, he's gonna take more carries. I don't think their draft pick Patterson. Dotson's gonna be the type of player that does that.
Yeah.
I had serious deja vu when I saw Dotson. I thought of the other Dotson they drafted, who was a massive bust.
Yeah.
Was it Josh? I don't remember.
Yeah, from it was a purple school, something Texas. TCU. Yeah. Curtis Sam was a big question mark. Obviously, can't stay healthy, so I'm still gonna lead to Terry. The biggest question is Wentz gonna be able to stay up and pass the ball to Terry? Because he's going from the Colts, which I honestly think is way better offensive line, even though it ranked Redskins better. I think last year Redskins QB.
Who are the Redskins?
Sorry,
Commanders.
Commanders. I'm gonna say Washington because
Go ahead. Get it together. It's like 3 years now.
But they're always gonna be. I grew up like that. Offensive line, Washington last year gave up 38 sacks to Heineke.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz last year got sacked 32 times at the Colts, and he looked like shit last year. He was running for his life.
Yeah.
It felt like.
I feel like the difference between the two is that Heineke can get up after, and Carson doesn't always get up.
I think
Heineke
is small, and he was able to run from them.
I do think Wentz though is like a massive upgrade from Heineke. Like Heineke,
Arm talent, yes.
Yeah,
at some points, like the ability to get out of the pocket and move, and extend a play. But like, what Heineke really wasn't doing anything when he was doing that. So
is Carson Wentz able to run like Heineke can?
No.
Away from this pass pass rush of other teams.
If it was old Carson Wentz, like Eagles
Yes.
Wentz, yeah. This one, I don't know.
And then add on to the fact that they just lost all-pro guard.
yeah, offensive line struggle.
I mean,
but-
it could be Sam Howell season
They
very
didn't-
quickly
They didn't even mention Sam Howell.
because he's
Uh,
that bad.
Yeah.
Oh, Wentz can get hurt.
Yep.
They have Taylor Heineke.
They still have Heineke.
They just go back to Heineke.
Yeah.
I mean, Terry's quarterback proof. I mean, you
Yeah.
can catch
That
passes
was
from
my
Heineke,
question.
You're fine. Like
Yeah.
that guy, Heineke's a very below average quarterback.
And I think that Dotson was brought in to eventually replace Curtis Samuel, so you'll see him probably used in multiple different ways.
Dotson's a speed guy. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
same thing as Kirsten. Like, he just goes deep. Kind of reminds me of Deshaun Jackson in a way, but
It's a big
You know.
Deshaun Jackson show tonight. huh?
yeah, apparently. But like
Fucking guy.
like you said, Mike, the offensive line is pretty bad.
You're
so,
not even be able to pass it down.
yeah, like, are they gonna have enough time to throw to Dotson? I don't know.
Off the top of my head, I don't know what Logan Thomas's timeline is like, but I don't believe he's going to start the season.
Definitely not.
Didn't he tear his ACL at the very end?
Yeah. I think like week 13. He was on my team. It's right before playoffs or right during playoffs.
There was an update 2 weeks
When
ago.
you were
Yeah.
holding four tight
He
ends.
tore his ACL.
Yeah. Do you think that Carson's going to be targeting the tight ends a lot like he did in Philly back in the day?
Well, we know he loves big receivers.
Yeah.
So yeah, Logan Thomas. Yeah.
Love. But you're going to have to wait. You're going to have to wait for it.
He didn't do it in Colts.
Yeah, he did Pittman.
Yeah.
Oh, I meant like tight end.
No,
talking about tight
Mo
end.
Cox was
Yeah.
not the greatest.
Can we
talent,
all just
and-
now once for all agree like he's huge, he's
He's
fun to
huge.
say his name.
He's huge.
He's fucking huge, but he's not good at football.
Yeah, I think
Can we all just
Hey.
put this one to bed?
I think that's pretty obvious.
They drafted a tight end, so
Cam Sims thinks he's going to be getting targets. The way he was talking about Carson Wentz the other
Fucking
day.
Cam
He's like,
Sims.
I'm a bigger receiver. You know, Carson's going to like me. But
Shut up, stupid fucking idiot. We'll see. It's always interesting.
Isn't
when,
Carter a bigger wide receiver too?
I don't even know if they have him anymore.
Oh, really?
Their depth chart was a little wonky when I was
Yeah.
looking at it.
Because it's so shit that anybody can just take your spot.
I do think Curtis Samuel is a very interesting wild card because he played like 0 snaps last year. So if he's healthy, which is a massive question mark, like
You guys been
see what he
healthy
does.
forever.
I just hate the coach as well. Rivera sucks. I think he's one of the worst coaches in the league.
He's a motivation guy.
He's a big riverboat guy.
I think he got carried by Cam Newton. That's it.
Yeah,
He's not an X's and O guy. I know that.
not a big theory guy. He just goes out and motivates you.
Yeah.
Keep on going, doing great. Keep on going. That was my impression of Ron Rivera.
Not great.
Not great, right? Could have been worse.
I don't even know what you were doing there.
That's exactly. That's what his team looks at him like. What are you doing, man? What are you doing? Let's move on.
The Cowboys, America's team, the best team in the division last year, 12-5. They are also traveling pretty far, ranked 21,
Get out that mileage, baby. Tell him.
and their team is completely changed. Okay, their additions. They added third-round wide receiver Jalen Tolbert from, I think, Southern Alabama. Tall wide receiver, 6'3",
The Jaguars.
runs pretty fast. Signed another fast wide receiver, James Washington. Finally, he's on another team other than Steelers. Maybe he made something out of himself. Drafted a guard/tackle first round, Tyler Smith. He's from Tulsa. Key losses: traded Amari Cooper for a 5th round and a 6th round swap to the Browns. What a heist!
Yeah, it's just I don't understand. It's such a
Cedric
bad trade.
Wilson signs to the Miami Dolphins, which have way too many wide receivers. And unfortunately, they released Collins because they paid Zeke too much.
What's
a
his
couple
first name?
years.
Wow.
I'm not going to pronounce that.
I know. I shouldn't have. I knew he didn't know how to say it when he
Just
pronounced
says the
second
last name.
name.
Yeah, you should have put how to sound it out now.
I love how they traded Amari because I thought that meant they would pay Cedric, and then they don't
pay Cedric. And then the Dolphins realize Tyreek Hill's available, so they say, oh, fuck, we signed this guy, but who cares? We can get Tyreek Hill. So they just did it anyway.
Yeah.
Just a funny
Then they
little
did that a
circle.
few times with a couple running backs too. We'll
Yeah.
get into that. We're talking about.
I don't know
that.
how they did.
that
They
vision, but-
released Cooper, and then they didn't get Wilson, and then they didn't sign Collins. That's more shocking to me.
They didn't do anything.
Oh,
They
and you
literally
didn't
did
add-
nothing.
And they lost Connors to the Dolphins as well.
Connors.
The guard,
Guard.
the starting left guard. So they lost their left guard. They lost their starting right tackle. They do have a pretty good backup right tackle, which was Steele. He was a rookie last
Travis
year.
Steele.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know his first
I
name.
don't know. his first
It's spelt weird. It's like Steele with the E at the
Yeah,
end.
yeah.
name. Yeah.
He was a pretty good rookie last year. I think that's a surprise. But this offensive line is highly questionable, especially with Smith on the left tackle is getting ancient,
Ancient.
and he's always hurt.
What do you mean he's getting ancient?
He's getting old.
Smith, they just drafted him. He's a rookie. You
The
said
left tackle. I said left tackle. Smith on the left side.
Yeah, well, the Tyler Smith. So I'm not
Oh,
thinking the
no.
other Smith.
No, Tyler Smith is going to play probably guard on this team right now. They'll keep Steele at the right tackle. They'll put Tyler Smith probably at left or right guard for right now, and then that'll be it.
Okay.
All
So
right.
how do we feel about the actual offense, not just the fat people in the front?
I like the fat people.
I do too. They're very. It's
You're joining them.
you win in the trenches. I'm trying out next year. for
I
the
don't know how I
Giants,
feel
'cause
about
it. Couldn't be any worse. Couldn't be any worse than what they have now.
I don't know how I feel because Dak Prescott, when he gets injured, he just like completely dies. Like his
Fair.
stats just fall apart.
It's pretty fair.
Can Gallup stay healthy? Highly questionable. He's going to be the wide receiver too. And now CD is going to get the double coverage because guess what? Zeke is not getting no 8 people in the box no more. And I don't think Pollard is getting 8 people in the box. I think they're just going to play just straight up defense against them. I think they're going to cover double coverage CD. Does CD move to the outside or is he going to stay in the slot? I would keep him in the slot, but
I don't know if they can.
you're going to keep Michael Gallup and James Washington on the outside.
Gallup's probably gonna miss what four games.
He's missing early on. I mean,
Yeah.
he tore his
Tolbert's
ACL.
gonna be the guy early on.
Yeah, so
James Washington is just not good.
I don't know. Is he
he's
not that
he's
good,
not
or
good.
is
He's
it
not good.
really just
He can't
the
run
Steelers?
can't run a great route. Doesn't have great hands. Just
I'm
But
interested.
he doesn't do anything very well.
I'm interested to see what he does.
They clearly have very little faith in him. They gave him $1 million for one season.
That's all he was worth.
yeah,
yeah,
because
but-
he's
Well, you're not gonna pay like a wide receiver that you're like, oh, why would I pay him $5 million when I can just here's $1 million.
No, I
Make
know.
yourself
But
an
like
idiot.
clearly they don't have a ton of faith in him if
Yeah.
they're just like, oh, we'll just take you as an end of the roster guy.
yeah.
I think the biggest upside is gonna be Dalton Schultz,
Mhm.
tight end.
He had a great year last year.
I think this is a better year this year.
Yeah, he had 104 targets. They lost 104 with Amari, so
That's 208 targets for us this year. Yeah, the sky's the limit for him. It's just really, however much, especially with the offensive line's got a lot of question marks. It could be a quick little dump off, little chip and catch for him. I like Tolbert as well, especially early in the season, and at least until Gallup comes back. Because Gallup, we know what he is. He's a good player. It's just whether Tolbert can take over that role,
yeah.
and then Gallup just still stuck as the third best wide receiver on the team.
He has a huge opportunity to steal that,
Yeah.
early on. Like if Dak connects with him early on, like Gallup's gonna fall out of favor again, or it's that, like you said, that third role.
Yeah, and that's just somewhere you don't want to be because they still want to run the ball. They still run first team.
Can you see Pollard and Elliott both being on the field at the same time, and Pollard being more of a receiver this year?
Yeah, we see it a lot. Saw a decent amount last year. I think we might see the same split. It was one of the questions I was gonna ask you, Mike, but that's what I think. It's gonna be about the same. Pollard rushed 237 times. He has 65 targets. I'm sorry, Zeke.
Yeah,
did.
he's
Zeke. I read it
yeah.
backwards. Pollard saw 130 and 46, but
Look
Pollard's
at how
way
much
more efficient.
Yeah, look how much more efficient Pollard was, especially in the receiving game.
Yeah.
Like
That's what I'm saying. Can you see like 50, 60 catches coming from Pollard this year?
especially early on. There's always been value in Pollard ever since he came into the league. It's just whether he was going to get the opportunity to play.
I mean, look at it like this. Like first of all, they passed the ball a lot, but Gallup, Wilson, and Amari combined for 220 targets that are just vanished.
Yeah.
So people are gonna have to pick up the slack somewhere.
Yeah. It's not going to be. I really don't think it's going to be Zeke at the end of the day, getting more targets. So I'm high on Pollard this year. He could be in the top 25 possibly by the end of the year. Who knows?
Could he be better than Sanders this year?
Yes. Yeah, he's gonna score. He damn sure score more touchdowns.
Because it's very similar, like players and
Yeah, but one's
how
a
they
starter and
featured.
one's not, and he's still gonna be outscored.
Zeke was so bad last year at the end of the year. He got beaten down bad. I mean, 3.5 yards per carry after week 9. Only had 10 carries 5 times after that.
I'm doing the math. Pollard was better than Sanders was last year.
Yeah. Because he had no touchdowns.
Yeah.
Sanders. I need more rushing yards.
He had more rushing yards. I have to scroll up to see if he did more. I have more receptions, but
Yeah, he had to have. Sanders wasn't involved in the rushing and the passing game.
and you're still drafting Sanders. Let's talk about that. Who do you want the most? Who you have the most faith in out of the 4 running backs on these teams?
I might say Pollard.
No.
Yes.
I'd rather just risk it on Saquon.
I'd rather just.
I'll
I'll draft Pollard wherever he's going.
give me a rank. It doesn't have to be your final rankings for the end of the year. Just give me what you're thinking right now in this moment.
I think Pollard's top 20 running back this year.
I'm fine with that.
I honestly see 50 catches.
Do you?
What does he have? He had
I think
he has 39. 50 more. I mean 50
more,
not 50 more. It's like 12 more, right?
he could be possibly the safest out of all of them. As odd as a backup is to say that,
Safest
he could be the safest.
Yeah.
where you draft him versus value is going to be, I think, better. And then you could still go get another running back.
Yeah, I mean, but
I like Saquon. I might be taking a risk on him in 1 or 2 leagues, but I like Pollard. I like Pollard as just like what you said, value and safety. But to take the risk, I don't want anything to do with Antonio Gibson.
no.
I didn't officially tell you guys, but he's not my keeper anymore.
I figured that.
He's gone. He's gone.
The best
I can't
6th-round
do it.
keeper ever.
I can't do it anymore. After this nonsense, I can't do it anymore. I wish the best to him, to whoever has him next year. It's not going to be me.
It won't be me.
Miles Sanders obviously is the weakest link, I think, out of all these running backs.
Might lose his job.
And who knows?
I mean, they just feature 4 running backs over there, so.
One last thing on the Cowboys. Dak, obviously, the Cowboys as a whole got a lot worse. But, I mean, where are you drafting him now? Like, top 5 quarterback is probably not likely.
No, I see him. He's probably like
7 or 8.
8 or 9.
I'm at 7 or 8 just because, I mean, he might be running the ball again every now and then. But he might have to be pushed out of the pocket and then scramble for a few extra yards. No higher than 7.
I'm telling
He's
you,
not my top 5.
this offensive line is going to be really bad.
Last year after he got hurt, someone wrote this. He was terrible. He was pretty bad. He dropped 3 completion points. Yards per attempt went from 8 to 6.9. QB rating went from 108 to 98, and the passing yards per game went from 292 to 263.
Yeah.
And now you take away Amari, who whatever you could think about Amari, but either way, that's one less weapon.
Yeah.
And you don't have Gallup for a part of the season.
Yeah.
And I don't think I like their rookie Tolbert, but he's not gonna be.
I'm not sold on him.
He's not gonna be like a star coming from South Alabama.
I mean, he was good, but I don't know if he's gonna
when
really
you're
shake it up.
When you're 6'4" and he probably runs like a 4.4, he's just out jumping everybody. He's just athletically above everybody else.
I read up on it. He was hurt his senior year of high school, so he didn't get a lot of offers, and then he decided he was just gonna stay. Like, he could have transferred out and decided he wasn't.
Yeah.
And
I
stuck
think
it
his
out
talent is there, but
because he was still playing at Bama, just South Bama. It wasn't the same.
He was a 3rd-round pick. I don't. It's hit or miss.
It's draft capital there.
I mean, we had Jefferson's 2nd-round pick. You also have like Whiteside 2nd-round pick. So
yeah, yeah. But like, it's not like he's a 1st-round pick where the Cowboys are ready to like. They were so confident they're gonna plug him in and he's just gonna be amazing. Like it's gonna be either he's good or he's not ready.
Yeah, it can't be any worse than James Robinson. I mean, and I'm sorry, James Washington.
I was gonna say James Robinson.
Undrafted. If you listen to the show, you know my disdain for James Washington. So it's maybe a little biased, but
still a fan.
I've watched a lot of James Washington to know that.
Which one is it?
James Washington.
All right.
Sorry, I just want to call him James Robinson. So bad. You got anything else?
I don't think so.
I think that wraps up the East.
The East is real quick. We'll go into more details once we have rankings and we go into real stats. This year we're just going over additions, subtractions, what the roster looks like right now.
Our opinions.
I'm telling you, do your reading because this is when you find out when running backs undrafted like Robinson, Lindsey, and all that come through because you're doing your reading. You'll know that. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to keep you updated. We'll let you know about injuries and everything else.
Yeah. Where can they find our new content, Mike?
We have a TikTok.
Give them the handle.
I don't know. It's FF Degenerates on TikTok.
And everywhere else is
FFD _ podcast.
Yes, sir.
We're good.
Yeah, we're good. Mike, that's it. That's all you got to say?
I love you.
We will see you guys next week.
Smooches.